Welcome to a special National Signing Day edition of SVSU Red Alert, when we introduce you to the latest additions to the SVSU Cardinal football family. I'm J.J. Boehm, joined by SVSU head coach Jim Collins. And Coach, before we get through and introduce everybody and kind of go through the group by position, your initial thoughts and your observations as it pertains to this year's recruiting class.
Well, J.J., you're always excited this time of year because it's a new group of young men you get a chance to work with. You put a lot of effort into recruiting them, getting to know them, evaluating them. And, first and foremost, I think you have to say thank you to a lot of people that are involved. I think our staff did an outstanding job once again and it all starts with evaluation. It's a lot of hours of watching film, going and watching the guys play live, really comparing them to other people and doing a thorough job of evaluating. And then it doesn't stop there. What you need to do there is build relationships with the student athletes and their parents and their family members. And it's an exhaustive process that you work really hard. So I think our staff did an outstanding job, and we appreciate their efforts. The other group of people is the people in the campus community. You're usually one of them as well. You look at your admissions office. You've got people from your admissions office coming in on Sundays to talk to our groups and educate them about what Saginaw Valley is all about. Your faculty and administrators that cover A to Z when it comes to the academics and the involvement that the community has with not just the athletic part of it, but the academic end of it. So a lot of people involved, and it's a group team effort, and that's what I love about this place. Everyone gets involved, and the people here are second to none, and I think that's what draws an outstanding group of young men and families to your program and to your university. So we're excited. I think we've got a great group, a group that's high-character young men. That's the first thing we look for. We're looking for character. We're looking for talent in two capacities. The talent that you see on the football field and speed and all that stuff, but then the intangibles, the competitiveness, the work ethic. And then the other part of it is this. You want people that fit Saginaw Valley and are passionate about our program and our university. And we think we hit a home run with this group.
And more than 30 players in this recruiting class, the vast majority of them from Michigan, a couple from Ohio, but then also this year moving a little bit into the Chicago area and bringing in a few kids from there.
Absolutely. That was an area that we hadn't hadn't really focused on in the past. Coach Gonzaga, Adam Gonzaga, our defensive coordinator, is familiar with that area. Went in there, spent some days, and found some great football players. And once again, this group, amongst this group, and whether it's the players from Illinois who we were able to find, the Ohio guys or the Michigan guys, a third of them are eligible for academic awards. So you've got some really academically talented young men, and then over 2/3 of them were in the playoffs this past season. So, and the guys from Illinois, the same thing. Outstanding programs that they attended in high school, and they're coming well prepared for our league and what Saginaw Valley football is all about.
And we'll get you into introducing who those latest additions to the SVSU football family are, starting at the quarterback position, where one from within the state of Michigan and one from the Chicago area, Jake Baldwin, quarterback out of Waterford Mott High School in northern Oakland County, and then Cameron Miller, a quarterback out of Brother Rice High School in Chicago.
Well, you're talking about two very similar quarterbacks, athletic, shotgun, spread guys, but big, bigger than some of the other guys that we were looking at. I think the thing that stands out with both of them are they took their team pretty far in the playoffs. They didn't win it all, but they took them a long ways. They both threw for a very high percentage in terms of completion. They threw for a bunch of yards and a bunch of touchdowns. And the other thing they were able to do is they were able to run the football as well and showed a lot of athleticism. So I think those are two winners right there. They're high academic, high character young men, great leaders in their program, and competitors. And it's going to be great to welcome both on campus and have them competing at that quarterback spot.
And then also bringing in another recruit who played quarterback in high school, being looked at as a tight end or perhaps moving to another position here at SVSU, and that's a local product, Tyler Humpert out of Vassar High School.
Yeah, Tyler had an outstanding – he was the thumb player of the year, JJ, at Vassar, and threw for a lot of yards. But Tyler's got a lot of experience. He's an outstanding basketball player. He's 6'7". He's got great hands, great ball skills. He's played receiver in the past. He's played tight end. And he's someone that we really think is going to be a dimensional player that can help us in a bunch of different areas. We've already talked to him about being the type of guy that we can split out wide and zero him in on smaller defensive backs. And then the other part of it is this: when you look at the development of these young men, we're hiring a new strength coach. We're excited about that. Excited about these guys getting to work in the weight room and getting bigger and stronger and developing from a physical standpoint. And that's another thing to add on to. In this group, there's six of these guys that were playing quarterback, either full-time like the two we just talked about and Tyler, or part-time like a few others. So it's a great group of athletes, and Tyler's in that group of just being a very athletic football player who was a great leader in his program.
And then bringing in 5 players at the wide receiver position, all of them from the state of Michigan, some from Metro Detroit, and some from right here in your backyard.
Well, absolutely, JJ. And let's talk about Noah Sargent first. He was Flint Power's quarterback last year. They made it to the state finals and had a tough defeat, but he carried his team. He's a young man that's played receiver in the past. Once again, very athletic. We think he can help us at receiver. He's got great hands, great leaping ability, explosive athlete, tough, and he proved that over the course of the year. The guys that were true receivers last year, Marcus Edmondson at Ann Arbor, Huron, did play a little bit of quarterback as well, but really a true wide receiver. And the other thing you see with this group is a lot of speed and decent size. Marcus, great leaping ability, great ball skills. Chad Galliard, JJ, out of Dearborn Edsel, 4', 6'3". He's an outstanding basketball player, extremely fast. We timed him. He ran really well. Can go up and get it, can run by people. Kadari Johnson, who played at Eisenhower, where one of our former Cardinals is coaching, John DeGiorgio. John had nothing but great things to say about Kadari. John's the offensive coordinator there. Kadari's explosive. He was a slot receiver. They handed the ball off to him. They threw the football to him. Very dimensional player. And then the last one in the group, Lamont Morrison out of Vassar. Lamont played DB, played wide receiver. He's big. He's physical. Is extremely athletic. I think he jumped about 36 inches when we tested him in the vertical. He's a very good basketball player. So we think we've got some outstanding athletes in that receiving group.
And staying on the offensive side of the ball, looking at the running backs position, bringing in 3 players there, one of them very close to home here at SVSU, and then 2 others also from the state of Michigan.
Absolutely, JJ. And, we're excited about Nate Moore, Arthur Hill, right here in town, starting point guard on the basketball team, played defense, was their star running back, had an outstanding season, outstanding career there. Great speed, tough, physical type of player, made a lot of big plays. So the type of explosive athletes we're looking for to carry the football for us. In addition, we've got another player from the Saginaw Valley League, Mike Marston, played at Lapeer. Lapeer had an outstanding season this year, and Mike was one of the reasons why. Big physical running back, has great speed, but I think the thing that sets him apart is his ability to run through tackles. I thought he was the type of guy that could get around the end and get to the second level and be able to run through the linebackers, run through the safeties, and make big plays that way. So I think those are 2 very complementary players, really fast, and then with Mike being that physical guy. The third guy that we're excited about is Alante Thomas. And Alante played at Renaissance down in Detroit, ran for 1,500 yards, had a great season for them, really helped get their program going back in the right direction this year. I thought they did a great job in the Detroit Public League of establishing themselves in a program. And they played great competition. And when you looked at some of the games against some of the better teams in that league, Alante stood out. I thought he was a dimensional player in the fact that he could run in between the tackles, he could get the ball outside, so we're excited about Alante.
And then moving to the offensive line, there are 6 players that you're bringing in up front, including a pair from Brother Rice, but one Brother Rice in Chicago and one Birmingham Brother Rice here in Michigan.
Great observation, JJ. We're excited about the 2 Brother Rice guys, and we're excited about the fact that they played against each other and they're familiar with each other and their programs. Both players, let's start first with Jelani Edmond, Brother Rice, Chicago, long, athletic, strong. I think one of the things that you see from Jelani is the ability to play the left side or the right side. He's an edge player with that length, but he's got great feet. And we were impressed with what he was able to do in the weight room. I think he's the type of player. He's been in a really good program. a program that relied on him to not just run block, but also do a great job in the passing game. So I think he's well prepared for our style offense. The other Brother Rice player, Tommy Liesveld, played at Birmingham Brother Rice, traditional powerhouse. We all know their reputation. Is a physical player, strong. Once again, 6'6", so he's long like Jelani. And I think, once again, Tommy's one of those guys, his best days are ahead of him. And that's what you're looking for in linemen. You're looking for a certain qualification in terms of size and strength and footwork, but you're also looking for guys that are going to grow, get stronger, and develop. Tommy, I think, has got a great upside, and I thought did a great job of not just being physical on the line of scrimmage, but once again, pass pro and running downfield and blocking and finishing blocks. Now, the other guys, Tom Jeanette, Macomb, Dakota, big, strong. I think the day we had him in, he did 23 or 24 reps at 225. I mean, he's a beast. He's over 300 pounds, moves well, physical blocker. We're excited about Tommy. Easton Rudisell is a player we brought in from Ohio. Very familiar with his program in Lima, Bath High School. Coach Gonzaga had a lot of familiarity from his time coaching in Ohio. And same thing with Easton. You watch him on film. He's big. He's physical. He finishes blocks. He moves his feet. The things you're looking for in an offensive lineman. From the local area, we've got Cody Witzkel, played at Bay City Western. 6'2", 260, somewhere in that range. Very strong. Bends really well. He's an outstanding wrestler. And those are things you're looking for from an interior offensive lineman, a guy that can bend, a guy that's very physical, understands leverage, uses his size to his advantage. And Cody's got great leg strength, great power. You can notice that the way he drive blocks down the field. And then the last one, Jeff Strom, Etzel Ford. Jeff has great length. He's cut out of the same mold as some of the other guys that we talked about in terms of tackle. He's long. He's got great feet. He's athletic. He could play tackle or guard. And the other thing that I think that you see on Jeff is that tenacity, that ability to finish blocks, always chase the guy, finish the play, go to the whistle. So I think that's 6 really good offensive linemen we're bringing in, JJ.
And sticking on the offensive side of the ball, at place kicker, bringing in Drew Franklin from Caneland High School, again, far western suburbs of Chicago.
Interesting. Drew was one of those guys we brought in over the summer, got an interest in Saginaw Valley. Coach Fedrosi did a great job of recruiting him as our special teams coordinator. Drew came in and kicked for us. He's got a very strong leg. He's accurate. He's the type of guy that's going to kick the ball deep. He's going to get it up in the air. A touchback type of kickoff guy, but still has the accuracy to make the place kicks. Obviously, for all the high school guys, there's always that transition to go from the block to kicking off the turf. But when we worked him out in our building, he did an outstanding job with that. And we're excited about him. And we're excited about him having the ability to come in and compete. And I think when you get a young man from that far away, there's a lot of draws. He's a high academic young man, so it speaks well for the university and for what we have to offer here, that we're attracting outstanding students from 5-6 hours away.
Switching to the defensive side of the ball, we talked about bringing in 6 players up front on the offensive line, also bringing in 6 players up front on the defensive line.
Exactly. Once again, what you're looking for is guys that can play that defensive tackle position, that are big and strong, but they can move. That's one of the criteria. And there's a lot of guys who are big and strong, but if they can't run, they're not a great fit for our scheme. But the guys we brought in at tackle, E.J. Medvix, he fits that mold. As a matter of fact, he played tight end. He's played linebacker, so he's a big, strong guy that we think fits well. He's going to get in that weight room and get even bigger. The other young man is Tim Stevens from Bedford Temperance. Once again, I thought his ability to run to the football is what stood out the most. He's got high motor in addition to his size and strength. And then Heath Williams out of East Lansing, JJ, is extremely big. He's one of those guys that already is probably big enough to play in our league. And it's just going to be a matter of him developing and catching on to see how quick he can get on the field. But he fits the mold for what we're looking for very well and is really close to being at that level that some of your sophomores and juniors are at. At the defensive end, you're looking for similar qualities, but a little bit more speed and athleticism. Jalen Bradley is a great example of that. Carmen Ainsworth, very athletic, has the power, was an outstanding track athlete, threw the shot, strong kid. But I think the thing that stood out about him from an athletic standpoint, on his highlight film, he's playing wide receiver, he's playing tight end, he's playing outside linebacker. They've got him down in a three-point stance, rushing the quarterback, dropping into coverage. He's an extremely dimensional athlete, as well as 6'2", 225, and strong. So I think he's a great fit for that ideal 4-3 defensive end. David Cray out of Lapeer is an interesting one because he doesn't attend Lapeer for school. He's homeschooled, but he plays football there. And they had an outstanding season this year. So I think he was flying a little under the radar. Came in, he's an outstanding track athlete. Here's a guy that's 6'2", 6'3", 240, 250 pounds that runs a 10.900. And we clocked him at 4.6. So he's got great speed and is a great type of athlete that you want to develop as a pass rusher, and he's going to be a guy that can definitely run to the football. And then the third defensive end, Adam Slating out of Rochester Adams, we're extremely excited about. I thought the one thing that stood out with Adam, in addition to those physical traits, is just his temperament and his attitude. I mean, he is a guy that goes hard. He's mean and nasty. He's very competitive. So all six of those guys fit everything you're looking for in a defensive lineman in a 4-3 defense.
And then moving back one level on the defense to linebacker, bringing in a pair of players at that position.
Well, let's talk about Connor Stein first. Once again, Flint Powers, local player, a guy that we've had our eyes on since last year when he was a junior, big and athletic and has all the instincts you're looking for, as well as, those linebackers are always the leaders of that defense. He's got great leadership skills. He's smart and is going to be an anchor for us. The other one, Xavier Barnes from Carmel Mundelein in Illinois, is a really interesting athlete because Xavier played tight end, he played quarterback, he played safety, he played linebacker. He did it all for a very good football team. He's got size and speed, athleticism. He came in and he was just throwing the football at the beginning of the workout, and he was really spinning it pretty good. So I told him there's no plays that we have where he gets to pass it on defense, but he sure looks good with the ball in his hand. So very athletic, and it's great to have Xavier in the program.
And then moving to the defensive secondary, 7 players brought in to play cornerback and safety.
Well, once again, an area of emphasis for us to bring in a big group to provide depth and really find some guys that can compete right away and challenge the players on our team. And I think this is a group that can do that. Now, there's a lot of development obviously that's got to happen between now and then, mentally and physically. But we think we've got some talented individuals in this group. Donnell Alexander, I think is an outstanding corner, very athletic out of Cass Tech in Detroit. Had an outstanding season. We all know how good that program is, and Coach Wilcher, the head coach there, does a great job of coaching the DBs. He's the DB coach, so Donnell is very, very polished. Devin Taylor out of Lansing Sexton, another one of those corners that's a very polished player. Has all those qualities: great ball skills, cover skills, is physical. Once again, had great coaching in high school. He played for his dad. His dad was his position coach. His dad played defensive back at Michigan State when Nick Saban was the secondary coach at Michigan State. So, we're excited about Devin. Joe Judge is a young man out of Ypsilanti, Lincoln. Once again, long arms, athletic, great coverage skills, had great linear speed, and we think he's going to develop into a great corner. Once again, he was a guy who played a bunch of different positions, very dimensional, versatile type of player. And then the other corner that we have is Kone Bowman Jr. out of Detroit Country Day. And Kone is a little not as big, but he plays big. Has a very good vertical jump, extremely fast, great quickness, great footwork. Played for an outstanding program down there at Detroit Country Day. So those 4 guys will do, I think, a great job of coming in here and competing right away and putting themselves in a position to step on the field. In addition to those 4, we brought in 3 safeties. Aaron Berry, big safety out of Euclid in the Cleveland area in Ohio. Aaron is a big hitter, very athletic. Once again, one of those guys that comes from a great program. High expectations, great foundation coming from high school, well coached, and is really prepared. We're excited about Aaron coming into our program. I think he's going to be a great addition. Reggie Irby out of Warren D. LaSalle, once again, another great program, had great coaching, physical player. We're excited about him just because, he was the type of guy in film you saw making big hits, always around the football. And the other part of it is, he plays with a lot of enthusiasm. And that's what you're looking for. You're looking for energy in that secondary. And it just seemed like he provided that energy and brought it every day. And then the third one is Jared Stevens. And Jared's one of those guys that played linebacker and safety. And he's a very dimensional player. I think he could be a nickel for us. He's a guy we can drop in the box from a run game standpoint, but he's also got the athleticism to cover a team's inside receiver or tight end. Played for an outstanding program at Canton. They went very far in the playoffs this past season and always do. So the one thing that stands out about this group is I think it's a group that is going to be prepared right away. Whether they can start or get in the mix as true freshmen remains to be seen, but they've got that potential. They come from outstanding programs. They know how to win. They know what high expectations are about. They're very coachable. And then the other thing is these are a bunch of smart guys. This is a group that is highly intelligent, and it isn't just their academic credentials that were impressive, but their coaches had all those great things to say about their ability to be coached.
So again, more than 30 players that you're bringing in. We've kind of run them all down for you today. But what are your closing thoughts now as you start looking at who you're going to have coming into the program and start looking forward to what you need to do with these guys and with the returning players to get ready for 2016?
Great question, JJ. And let me mention also that there are a few more guys we're working on that we're very confident that are going to join this group of young men in the class of 2016. But, really two things. Number one, what you're hoping for out of this group is for them between now and August to really prepare themselves mentally and physically so they're able to come in and play to their potential and perform to their potential during preseason camp. We think we've got a great foundation with the group that's already on campus, that's on our football team right now, that's been working hard these past 4 weeks as we've started our off-season program gearing up towards 2016. It's great to see the work ethic, the way our guys have really done not just a great job of showing up every day and working hard, but holding themselves and each other accountable and really making sure that they do everything that it takes for 2016 to be a successful season. So I think the combination of the players we have in our program right now, the things that we're doing and the high-character young men that they are, and this new group of players, I think is going to set the tone for 2016 and beyond.
Hopefully that will take shape here in the near future. We look forward to the Cardinals kicking off the 2016 season in early September, and we thank you for joining us and hope that you have enjoyed this 2016 National Signing Day edition of SVSU Red Alert.